Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. Dear God, I sure hope nothing goes wrong right out the gate here. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I mentioned a couple days ago I got a new computer. This one's a lot better than my laptop, which was supposed to be a lot better than the other laptop I used to have, but funny how things turn out, it really, really wasn't. I think I paid a little too much extra for the fucking touchscreen, which I never used. But now I've got a desktop PC, and it seems to be running okay. And as you can see, we've got a new fireplace. It's like slightly more HD. It was supposed to be 1080p or 1080i. What's the difference? It was supposed to be 1080. And it kind of looks a little blurry. It was also supposed to be 60 FPS, but you know, I think it looks nice as is. How are you guys doing? Let's take a look at the chat here. As soon as I join, it starts. Nice. You got the specs? Kind of a shitty CPU. It's like an i5 2.9 gigahertz one, which I think I might have to replace at some point. Video card's okay-ish. It's like GeForce 1080 or 10, not 1080. 1080 is the good one. It's 1050. So it's like not great, but it can play like the Outer Worlds at like reasonable settings. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, new computer, better HD quality streams, HD quality. I'm no longer using Premiere Pro, by the way. Premiere Pro is out of the question. We're moving over to Vegas. The next video has been recorded, and it might take a little bit to be fully edited. But it's gonna be in Vegas. It's gonna be a slightly different kind of edit, I guess. I don't know. I've never really used Vegas before, so it's either gonna go horribly or it's gonna be pretty good. But we'll see what happens. Hashtag DeadwingDork hour. Vegas, baby. What is he, Canadian? Who's David Wilcock? Do I hear a new mic? Yeah, new mic from earlier this month. I think I've got the settings worked out too, because I've got some filters and stuff on, so it hopefully won't be too garbage. I was testing it a lot before the stream. There was one person in my private test stream. I don't know who that one person was, but they got to hear a lot of testing, video games. They got to hear a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, today we're going to be taking a look at somebody by the name of David Wilcock, an interesting conspiracy lad. I like to think that my stream's already been like instantly demonetized just because this man's name is Wilcock. I like to think that that's something that's happened, but you know, maybe not. Yeah, David Wilcock. We're gonna be looking at him. Oh yeah, I guess I don't want the stream starting soon anymore. Hang on, there you go. The stream has begun. The stream is already afoot. We don't need to be told that it's starting soon. That's unnecessary. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at David Wilcock. Interesting lad. I had heard some rumblings about him. Some people told me about a couple videos that he had made a while back. I know Chris mentioned the Edge of Wonder interview where he talks about the California wildfires from last year and somehow talks about everything but the California wildfires. It's pretty great. It's 3 parts, and it's like 40 minutes each part. So, I mean, just buckle yourselves down for that one. We're going to be looking at that. He's got some other videos. He's got his own whole channel. To give you the brief rundown, he's like a divine... well, he's like a psychic, I think. He channels some kind of deviant art alien. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Yeah, he's some kind of alien talker man. It's kind of like the Ashtar stuff, if you remember that. This is like the kind of guy who would have been channeling Ashtar. I don't think it's specifically Ashtar, but I also know that Obi-Wan Kenobi came to him in a dream one day and told him to, like, I don't know. I don't exactly know what he told him to do, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna look at some of his videos here. Need to make sure. This is going to be the wrong one, actually. This is going to be showing me the wrong thing. me get this bad boy up and running. No, you're showing me the wrong one. Oh, how could you do this? I can't believe you've done this. Oh, good, and we're doing that thing where... there you go. We're doing that thing where it doesn't easily want to show me the browser window that I'm looking for. But yeah, we're gonna be looking at Edge of Wonder here. Now again, this is Edge of Wonder. This is the name of their channel. This is not, in fact, David Wilcock's channel. David Wilcock has his own channel. We may look into that in a little bit. It's not that interesting from what I've seen. It's kind of just a lot of talking. But this specific Edge of Wonder video, you might be starting to wonder now. You might be at the edge of wonder even that this was premiered like a year ago. This is about the California wildfires. Not exactly the most like relevant current thing to be talking about. But you know, we're gonna learn the secrets here about why those fires happened and who was actually secretly affected by those fires. It's gonna be pretty wonderful. Let's get this going here.
On today's Edge of Wonder.
How would you guys like a world exclusive of something very classified?
Riveting revelations
I guess I should mention,
from David Wilcock.
I suppose I should mention that, the man in the thumbnail is not in fact David Wilcock. It is in fact Niles Crane from Frasier. But, I mean, can you blame me? Can you blame me for making that mistake?
Of something very classified.
Riveting revelations.
I like how they just gets cut off there, like they don't even care.
David Wilcock.
It is unbelievable.
And the questions of a dark agenda behind the California wildfires in this exclusive interview.
This is crazy, okay?
Exclusive. But what does crazy look like?
If you see them in their...
It looks like his DeadwingDork alien OC, which he has brought along with us into this video. Apparently, aliens look like blonde ladies. I guess this is some of the Pleiadian shit. This is that kind of thing.
Native form.
And why would the deep state be concerned with who they are?
One of the names that I've heard used for them, and I've heard this for many years.
And it's a name you may have thought you knew.
Tell us the name!
In an exclusive interview you can't miss on the Edge of Wonder. Buckle in because it looks like we're in for yet another mind-blowing thrill.
Now this is... Now these are not David Wilcock. We just saw David Wilcock, but here's our boys. The stars of the Edge of Wonder channel. I have no idea what their names are, but... but they're pretty entertaining to watch. I've seen a bit of this video, and I think another one of their videos. And, the editing is just on point. The facial expressions, these guys, I can't tell if they don't buy anything that their guest is saying, or if they're just, like, not very charismatic on camera. I'm not exactly sure, but, you know, we're gonna find out. Let me check the chat here. That facial hair looks fake. This feels like clickbait. That drawing looks like a WoW NPC. Lol, I'm an alien. The hero of Kvatch! It really is you! Bayasura! Bayasura! Alright.
Thrill ride.
There will be a massive avalanche event of awakening, and it's coming soon.
In part one of this David Wilcock exclusive.
Welcome to Edge of Wonder. We have a great...
Ben Host and Rob Host. I wonder if those are their names. Or maybe they're just hosts. I'm confused. Maybe they're the Host brothers. Maybe that's their names. I could see that. Very lucky for their chosen career path.
Very special guest, Mr. David Wilcock.
David, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you guys for bringing me on.
Hey, so we actually wanted to start off by asking you a little bit of a personal question, just about how you actually
girth. Let's hear it. What's the girth, David? We want to know about the Wilcock.
Started with all of this. Like, why did you start looking into this and researching it? What compelled you to actually get into the disclosure field and start trying to figure out what was really going on in this crazy planet?
Well, there's a lot of people out there who are gullible, and I wanted money.
Well, I've had dreams about this kind of paranormal stuff for my entire life. ever since I was 2 years old, I had dreams about things that kind of looked like airplanes. They were cylindrical, but they didn't have wings. And they would kind of flutter like an insect over the ground.
And they were like jeweled, self-dribbling basketballs. The machine elves were preparing gifts. They have made gifts for you. Okay, thank you, Dave.
Have multiple dreams, quote unquote, where I was seeing these.
So keep in mind, we're talking about wildfires here. This is a video that's supposed to be about wildfires, so why are we hearing about fucking flying alien space tubes?
Backyard at my house. I also would have dreams in which there was a being who I was speaking to. And I was born in 1973, and after I saw Star Wars in 1977, I was 4 years old, and saw it in the theater, didn't know what to expect. It blew me away. And the being in my dreams actually became Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay. Let's briefly just examine the facial expressions here again. Let's just take a quick look at the one on the right.
Actually became Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Somebody get this fucking crazy asshole out of here.
Really fascinating because he actually in some ways felt more like a father to me than
hello there.
my own parents did. And he was telling me that in the future I would become very famous, that I had a spiritual mission on the planet, that the mission was very important, and that we would all be transforming somehow during my lifetime.
Were you Obi-Wan's only hope? Man, what a twist of the
So that was a
narrative.
very compelling thing, and at age 5 I had an out-of-body experience, which I've talked about in my books and pretty extensively. I woke up floating over my body, seeing myself sleeping, and this was really a phenomenal experience to have.
So you had like sleep paralysis one night?
I floated down the hallway and then went down the stairs. I felt like I was being observed, and then I got scared thinking I was dying.
And then I floated into my uncle's bedroom.
Out of my house and up into space, and I wouldn't be coming back. And at that point, I had this big surge of fear, and I snapped back into my body really fast. And it was in the aftermath of that that I became ignited with this quest, thinking that I would meet this Obi-Wan Kenobi.
If it wasn't for this man's hair, he
father
would really look like a
character
potato.
in these
honestly.
craft, if I had gone on that trip, and I wanted another chance. So for 2 years, every night, I asked for another chance, and nothing.
So poor little Timmy loved his dad, and then his dad like left for a pack of smokes, and then he imagined Obi-Wan Kenobi in his place, and every night for 2 years he went downstairs and waited for Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is very sad. I'm sorry. Stream over.
Was happening. So when I was 7 years old, I told my mother about this, and she showed me these books that we had under the cellar staircase on bookshelves. And she told me that what I was trying to do was called ESP, extrasensory perception. So I actually read an adult book on ESP when I was 7 years old by Harold Sherman called How to Make ESP Work for You. And so the psychic aspect of my life was very important, and I've just been
Something
doing
to do with
paranormal
making
research
sure you
ever
remember
since,
there is
really.
no
That was the
spoon,
first
I think,
adult book
is the
I
key.
read when everybody else at the time was reading something called Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Hey, don't you fucking diss Clifford the Big Red Dog, you
Where
fuck.
the text is like an inch tall in the book, you know?
Hey,
That-
it's a
I'm
big
reading
dog.
this
How are you
adult
not going to
stuff
have
with no
big
pictures.
text?
Man, that's an awesome story
You know,
that you started that early.
yeah, I to be honest, it's almost very similar to my own story. Like I had really crazy.
Still confused how this leads to the wildfires. Well, yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? Because we're like fucking 5 minutes into it almost, and like, where are we going with this exactly?
Experiences as well, and dreams, and kind of things visiting me as well. We won't get into that right now, but actually, and Rob and I were talking about this not too long ago, where the first book that I checked out at the library, I was in second grade, was The Lost City of Atlantis, and a book on the Bermuda Triangle, and I've been like into this stuff ever since. So it's kind of interesting.
So you see what I mean about these guys? I don't know if they're fake or if I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but they're just wonderful. Just edge of wonderful.
I just watched Goonies a lot.
So yeah, I feel like we're all on this path for a reason, and we all have
zoom-ins
a
are
purpose
just the best
and
quality.
a destiny, I guess.
I love how I have a computer now that's like decent quality enough that I can like notice when something is shitty quality. I keep like doing the digital zooms, and I'm like, no, that looks bad. That looks blurry and bad. Oh God. Yeah. Here we go. Finally, we're fucking 5 minutes in. Here's the fires.
You have two fires show up simultaneously right after a mass shooting, where the one in Southern California, the mass shooting is just a couple miles away from where the fire starts. And so then you see that because there's also a fire in Northern California that's even worse, that they have to take all these resources and throw them up to the north so they can't fight the fire in the south. And at the same time, we've now learned that they had these planes called super tankers that can literally do, you know, football fields wide of a curtain of water for miles and completely destroy a wildfire. And they've been used in many other countries. You can just go scoop it out of the ocean.
Yeah, that's right. And they use them during the wildfire.
Fly over, drop the stuff down, go scoop another one, fly over, drop it down, and it will completely destroy that fire. And yet, because of red tape and because of, we got to approve it and authorize it, and it's all caught up in red tape. They were sitting on the tarmac and they were never used.
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of wildfires in Canada, especially like Western Canada, where I'm located currently. Yeah, they use those like super tankers or whatever. They use those a lot, and they don't always just get the job done, you know? Like sometimes the water is just not enough to do the trick, you know. So there's a chance that maybe those things were used and they didn't do it. There's a chance that they weren't used because they wouldn't have had any like effect. There's also a chance that the government just decided to do the thing that it does where it gets really fucking stupid and it goes, well, we'll just let the fire burn out because remember everybody, if you fight your fires, they win. But yes, I don't think it was a conspiracy, but, you know,
As
what do I know?
literally the entire left side of all the vegetation in LA and Ventura County was completely burned. And I've been out here in Los Angeles to see this, and it is unbelievable. If you haven't lived here...
Wow, you guys are going fucking ruthless in the chat. Like, the jokes that you were making about this man's forehead and this man's haircut, you know, I don't even have to stream, honestly. You guys write the jokes for me.
What this is like and where this burned, I can tell you this. There has never been something like this in LA before. It's unbelievable. The scope of the devastation is unbelievable, and it's so much worse than an earthquake, because even in an earthquake, a bad earthquake, right? There's still a house standing there.
Oh man, I remember this mission from GTA 5.
There's some kind of structure. Maybe you got to repair some of your foundation, or maybe some walls collapse, but you still have a house. A wildfire is even worse than a massive earthquake because it just burns it right down to the ash. Unbelievable. Yes. And then you got to ask yourself again,
how is that
was this a satanic ritual?
Oh yeah, you know, you just have to ask yourself these things. You know, these are I would say that's up there on the number 3 of things that you need to like ask yourself in this situation. Was this an act of God? Was this the reckoning, or was this a satanic ritual? You know, one of those ones. Should we put this fire out? Are there any victims? Was this a satanic ritual? You know, that's one of those questions you just have to ask yourself.
Perform a sacrifice, a blood sacrifice.
Oh, okay. No,
with
it was
the
a sacrifice,
shooting.
everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
With an obvious mind-controlled military veteran shooter,
God.
You know, in the military, lots of people end up going through this kind of MK Ultra stuff in military service. And then 3 hours later...
It's like you're fucking... How many minutes in is this? It's like almost 8 minutes in, and they just start bombarding you with all this fucking... These nonsense, like, buzzwords. Like, oh, we're doing MK Ultra. Oh, okay. Oh, it was a satanic all right. Ritual okay. All right, then.
More or less is when this fire starts. It's too suspicious because it looks to me like... First they do the
Part
blood
1 of
sacrifice,
3. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, bro. This is not even...
And it's all part of this weird...
Not even close to done.
Cult, which, again, if you follow what's going on with QAnon, these guys are losing. They're losing fast. There is an alliance. I know that it's existing because I've met people in it. I've been getting briefings on it since 2009, way before the Q stuff started last year.
We're talking about QAnon now, guys.
You can't just...
There's just random shot of these guys. We're talking about QAnon. That's what's currently happening. Yeah, that's wonderful. It's kind of great because it's like usually when you hear somebody who's talking like this, you know, it's like a joke. It's one of those joke people who's like, you know, just sort of parodying this kind of person. But occasionally you just find someone who's like a weirdo, like nut job, just shilling their bullshit. Chris and I have had the debate somewhat as to whether or not this guy is actually crazy. She thinks that he is a con man. Allegedly, I'm not making any accusations here. She thinks that he's a con man who is just pretending to be nuts to reel in the psychos. I like to believe that he's at least somewhat crazy because it takes an interesting individual to come up with Obi-Wan Kenobi coming to you as a child, as your, like, space ghost dad.
Dispute that this alliance is real, and that we're going to
Anyways,
see...
back to QAnon.
Indictments getting unsealed. We're going to see people getting put away. There will be a massive avalanche event of awakening, and it's coming soon.
I think I'm streaming in 30 FPS, by the way, but this is like a 60 FPS video. I feel like I should change that for the next stream.
We wanted to talk to you about a lot of it, and
go full HD, babe.
What we've noticed is that in our research, where modern people fail is we are too naive to see all of the different things that are connecting that actually lead to, for instance, the California wildfires. As an example, if you actually dig in and you research serial killers and you research all of the things that were going on around the serial killers, you actually start finding a narrative that actually points to satanic rituals, satanic ritual abuse.
What was the what boomer juice was fucking Wilcock? Oh, it was kombucha. He's drinking kombucha straight from the bottle. This man has lost control of his life. Speaking of kombucha, how about Patreon dumping Onision and him losing every bit of revenue he could ever possibly get? Isn't that kind of cool? Doesn't that just fill you with like a nice, warm, Christmassy feeling? Isn't that great?
A narrative that actually points to satanic rituals, satanic ritual abuse, these kinds of things. But all the information they're telling you is exactly basically that it was just this crazy case of this little boy misunderstanding things, growing up weird, and then going crazy and killing people when they get older. It couldn't be further from the truth.
And it's completely isolated from everything else. Doesn't relate to anything else.
Exactly.
So you're telling me it's more... Okay, all right, okay, here we go. The crazy train has left the rails. You're telling me that it's more likely for a serial killing incident to have been perpetrated by satanic, I don't know, bad guys. I'm not sure. Satanic somebody. Satanists. You think it was like a satanic ritual, and that's easier to believe than like a person with mental illness. Uh-huh. See, now I don't know, because I was set in the belief that, you know, fucking Freddie Prinze Jr. over here was, like, kind of full of it. But no, I mean, I don't know. He might be crazy. He might be a little bit crazy. He looks a little too, like, put together to be actually crazy, though. This one I could believe being crazy. This one kind of looks like my neighbor who was like, oh, yeah, how you doing? How's it going? Have a good morning to you. It's all smiles and fun and games until somebody's like 10 minutes late for his Dungeons & Dragons game and he's out in the fucking lawn just screaming at them. Like obscenities, like full-on screaming. I'm just saying this guy kind of looks like that.
But when you really start looking into it, and
the one on the right, I can kind of believe
if you start
being,
looking into what
real,
was going
or
on
like a real
around the California wildfires, like what you stated, what was going on in Florida with the election and all of that stuff.
Well, and then at the same time, you have the whole immigrant caravan.
The immigrants, the caravan
same
stuff.
time happening.
I mean, it's a huge distraction. I mean, what do you have to say to people who have a hard time putting those things together? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. You know this better than anyone. I mean, how can we wake more?
You guys need to stop making jokes about David Wilcock's hairline, all right? Listen, this is a big-brained individual. This is what it looks like to be at the top of one's game. All right,
people up by helping them see the patterns.
Don't make no jokes.
Right before you answer that, so recently I've been getting messages from some fans on Facebook who live in California and are affected by these wildfires, and they're telling me, like, I've been through a lot of wildfires.
Every fucking time they do the digital zoom thing, I can notice it now, and I don't like it. Before, I was at, like, shitty fucking baby laptop resolution, and it was garbage, but now it's like, now I'm at, like, full, like, HD, and I'm like, oh god, no, stop doing that, it looks bad.
In California, and this is the strangest one I've ever seen.
Buy a camera that
they're
zooms,
like
dude.
convinced. I mean, I'm getting a few messages like this. They're convinced that, you know, they're showing me photos of like the fire, and then you're seeing also photos where it's like one side of the street is fine, the other side is like, it seems like it's almost like being selective. And
cars are melting. Cars melt at like 3,000 degrees centigrade. The metal, like that.
Car just turned into the
wildfires
T1000
don't do that.
or
Like there's
whatever.
weird stuff
T100.
going on.
and then it'll affect
Which one was the
car,
liquid
and
one?
It seems to almost like kind of skip
Terminator
over other
sucks.
cars. Anyway, they're also trying to like, this just
I shouldn't say that because the first two Terminators are good, but
it's too weird for me, you know, and they're just like, they wanted us to look into this, and I was like, well, great, we can ask David Wilcock what he thinks about this as well.
I love this daisy chain of bullshit that's going on in this scenario where it's like, yeah, but they wanted these people who were involved in the wildfires were like really upset about their like lives burning down because they're aliens, I guess. So they asked us, some rando YouTube channel, to ask some rando alien guy what he thinks about the matter. That's cool. That's great. It's like if I was like, hey, you know, fucking Jeff Holiday, can you help me with my taxes? I know this is a weird question, but like, do you know a guy who does taxes?
How would you guys like a world exclusive of something very classified?
Hit us! Bring it!
This is crazy, okay?
Can anybody just do like a really quick like exploitable of this happening?
Hit us!
Hit us!
Bring it!
That's great. That would be a wonderful gift for so many different reasons.
This is crazy, okay? Because ever since about, I guess, 2007, I've been in touch with this particular insider who called himself Henry Deacon with Project Camelot. You guys probably remember that. And he was the first person to...
Apparently Henry Deacon is like the guy the name that this guy pulls out of the hat every time he has like some shit he wants to tell people and he wants it to sound kind of official. He's just like, well, Henry Deacon said so. This is what I've
really educate me about the secret space program. He had a base that he would go to work at in the UK, and he would have to talk to people at a desk when he got towards the end of this thing, and they would make sure that he was
talking to people with a desk. That's almost as serious and big boy as Sargon's fucking thing with the Applebee's suit. Oh man, I bet David Wilcock doesn't even own a suit.
In the way that he talked, and then he would go down this hallway called the corridor.
You're not laughing
a big
now?
round tunnel, and then at the end of the tunnel was an elevator, and he would
holds aliens.
use a key, a typical house key, and they said it would reduce psychological impact to do it this way. He would turn the key in the elevator, the door would close, and when the door would open, he claimed that he was on Mars, and it was a portal system. Now, he was working within a world in which he would
Damn, a
apparently
tinfoil hat can't even
drive
fit
to
on a
work,
head that
park
big.
in
Y'all
this
got to use the whole
military
sheet
base,
for that.
walk through the corridor, take
Thank
the
you, chat.
elevator, the elevator takes him to Mars,
Chat
he
member.
does shifts on Mars, he comes back and he goes home in the UK, okay? A lot of weird stuff that he told me, including the fact
Dogs
that
and
there were
cats having
200,000
sex with each other.
personnel on this Mars base,
What is an hour
but only
drink?
10,000
I don't
of
know.
them were actually born on Earth. One of the things that he told me early along that I found really surprising was that The people that he was talking to that were not born on Earth, nonetheless, for the most part, looked very human-like. Some of them had skin that was kind of a pastel pink. Some of them looked pastel yellow. Some of them looked green, orange, blue, light blue, dark blue. Some people had jet black skin.
I'm okay with every kind of people except for purple people.
Like really jet
black. Unless they're choking.
And there was all different variations of people who looked more or less like us, but something's a little off, here, there, or the otherwise. There were certain things that he and others have told me over the years that I absolutely was not ever going to disclose. And there's a variety of reasons for that. My goal is not just to wow people with fantastic sounding information. I really do observe the secrecy for the protection of my insiders. I want to never break confidentiality. I want to be that guy who has integrity, so you can come to me with information and trust that unless you ask me to make it go public, it's not going anywhere.
Are people getting mad at me about saying the purple people thing? That's like Mitch Hedberg, dude. Don't call me. Don't listen.
And that's how
gaze deeply in David Wilcock's eyes.
It's not going anywhere.
And learn yourself some education, children.
And that's how I've been able to do this so long. That's how I've gotten so many insiders on my side. You're not going to hear any real, true story. You might get disinformation, but there's not going to be a true story about me betraying somebody. Okay.
Unless it's my wife.
Now let's get into the meat of this thing. Some of the humans that they deal with routinely in our military-industrial...
Guys, we're about to get into David Wilcock's meat. Are you all, like, ready for that?
Yeah! Complex are people who look pretty much just like us. And they might have subtle differences, but not that many. Now, one of the people... I've been tracking this group for many, many years, okay? And I'm going to give you guys some new stuff that nobody's heard about these folks before.
Guys, he has been tracking this group for years. This group... Isn't that like racial profiling? Hang on. Oh, it's okay because they're Centaurians. That's right, because they're fucking like horse people. It's okay to profile.
These are people who look like us for the most part. The men are really buff. They have really strong looking bodies.
Like those guys who beat me up in
school. They might be a little bit taller than we are. And if you see them the way they naturally would look, their skin is pretty darn pale. It's a little bit.
Here we have the fucking alien DeviantArt OC. This thing looks like WikiHow artwork. This is wonderful. This thing looks like how it's gonna teach you how to avoid getting fucking bitten by a vampire or some shit. Why does it have like fucking? Wow.
Pale.
Okay.
Like it looks a little bit too white, and they have white.
Lovely, just lovely pupils.
Hair, which is another strange thing. If you see them in their native form, their eyes will either be a dark blue or a violet color. Which
so basically, it's people from like Sweden. It's like Nords. It's basically Skyrim Nords.
Do not have. And then another interesting thing is that their pupil is kind of like a diamond shape. It's not reptilian. It's not this vertical slit. But it's a diamond instead of...
Guys, he has like his own like OC do not steal like alien character that he's invented for his conspiracies. It's not a reptilian. That's a little too pedestrian. No, this one's got like diamond eyes, I guess. The old alien bro diamond eyes. That's what we called them.
Round, okay? So that's going to look a little creepy, a little weird.
I would know.
Another thing about them is that they have a little bit of a serrated edge on the bottom of their teeth. And they have fewer teeth in their mouth than we do. I believe they only have 22 teeth. They kind of have this little scalloped edge on the bottom of their teeth. And also they have a scalloped roof of their mouth. Like our soft palate in the top of our mouth is flat. Theirs is like a cat. It has ridges, really thick, deep ridges. Now, these people supposedly, at least what they've claimed, is that they came from Alpha Centauri. So one of the names that I've heard used for them, and I've heard this for many years, is Centaurians.
Oh,
okay,
dude.
so
no,
they are.
They're not. It's not because they're from Alpha Centauri. It's because they're Centaurians. They're centaurs. They're alien horse people. You know those? You know the horses that the horse centaur people that like mysteriously like abducted Dolores Umbridge in that one part in Harry Potter. Do you remember that? I know everybody hates Harry Potter now because J.K. Rowling is literally a meme, but there was this one part where Umbridge was like taken away by fucking centaurs, and I'm pretty sure she was like fucked up. I'm pretty sure some shit happened. She was a bit of a cunt, but like, I don't know, man. Rest in peace.
Are the Centaurians. And
it's all the fucking Centaurians' fault. I knew it.
There apparently have been treaties where the Centaurians are allowed to walk around in our everyday world. One of the people who has actually talked about this is Paul Hellyer, the former Canadian Minister of Defense, in which he's talking about...
He's Canadian. You can't trust anything he tells you.
Walk around in Nevada. And maybe even...
Canadians are going to tell you that their country is real. You can't listen to their fucking hoax Minister of Defense. Fuck that.
One case he talks about where they were dressed up like nuns. And so the nun, you know, with the habit and everything, they look a little different. Now, normally the Centaurians are going to wear contact lenses to hide especially if they have the violet color of their eyes, but definitely the pupils too. They have to wear a snap-in dental plate to hide the serration on the bottom of their teeth, and they might also wear foundational makeup to hide how pale their skin is. Now, it's with heavy heart that I have to talk about this, because
I don't know
from Henry Deacon all the way back in 2007 that there was a city, a small town in America.
Oh god, I just hit spacebar on fucking OBS. I forgot I was like on OBS, and I was worried it like ended my stream or something. Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're talking about all these aliens with their fair white hair and their like, like pale skin. I don't know, dude. Aliens with these like deep blue eyes. I don't know, dude. It's just raising some questions. Are you sure you're not a self-hating alien? Like how people tell me I'm a self-hating furry?
The most important small town in America.
I mean, your avatar is a bear.
In which there was a treaty, a secret treaty with the Centaurians, who, by the way, are non-violent. They're not evil. They're good people. They're actually, if you get to talk to them, they will look you in the eye, and you don't speak.
Aliens.
You don't move your mouth. They don't move their mouth. But you have this.
No, you want to know? You want to know what Aryan aliens are? Aryan aliens are Arion, the like 9-part space metal fucking progressive rock supergroup about aliens leaving their planet to repopulate another planet and then fucking up that planet too, so they repopulated Earth and then fucking up Earth, and so we're all just dead. That's Aryan aliens right there, except it's spelled slightly differently.
And you feel
it's all white Northern European people though, so that's perhaps a little bit alarming.
Incredibly high. You actually get this like very powerful euphoric drug-like effect just from being in their presence. So there was a treaty, and I was notified about this in 2007, and I've heard about this town ever since from 3 or 4 different insiders, and you probably can see where this is going. Paradise, California. Paradise,
guys, California, it all leads back to Paradise.
The name I've been hiding for 11 years. And it's the most important small town in the United States where these people were being given safe haven and refuge. Now, there's some weird stuff, okay, that I'm going to tell you.
There's some weird stuff, guys, that he's going to tell you about how the people apparently who died in the Paradise wildfires were like aliens. No, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide if the following stuff you're going to hear is incredibly fucking disrespectful to a bunch of people that lost their homes, lives, families, possessions. That might be a little fucking disrespectful to them, I don't know, but I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Including the fact that Paradise had dentists who were trained in how to treat their teeth, because of course with the serrated bottom and the wideness, the teeth are wider than ours, and there's fewer of them. And I think there's also something funny about the root structure. They can't just get a normal dentist. Obviously, the dentist would flip out and lose his mind. So
yeah, because there's something funny about the root structure, of course, naturally.
They had special people living in Paradise who knew about these folks and were trained on how to handle them and how to deal with them, right?
Well, they're living in Paradise. That doesn't sound so bad.
people are going to ask me how many of these Centaurians were living in paradise. And the answer is I don't know. From the briefings I've gotten, I would, and this is absolute speculation, it's only a guess, and I would say it's probably at least 500. It might even be a few thousand, I don't really know. What I do know is that I was going to visit Paradise, California at some point. I'd planned on it, and this is, I've never talked about this before. This is a world exclusive, okay? And
Guys,
I'm
it's
not
an
making this up.
exclusive.
I've got recordings with Henry Deacon going back to 07, 08, 09 that I could dig out where we're talking about Paradise, California.
He's got recordings with Henry Deacon, guys. I don't think you understand how important what this man is saying. This man is doing important work, guys. You just don't understand it. Your tiny little monkey brains just can't comprehend what this man's obviously gargantuan, like, fucking, like, core of the earth sized brain is cooking up right now. He's
08,
above you
09
all.
that I could dig out where we're talking about Paradise, California. This is nothing new. And I've had 3 other insiders confirm that these treaties exist and that the only 2 cities like this in America were Paradise and someplace in Nevada that we don't even know exactly where it is. So why would this happen? Why would the most important city in America for human extraterrestrials burn down so fast that people died in their car trying to pull out of the driveway, right? And the question that I want to know is, were we on the verge of a disclosure event? Were we on the verge of these Centaurians introducing themselves to us collectively? And did that possibility so anger the Cabal that they said, we'll show you guys?
The Cabal.
Because I've seen photographs, and I'm going to have it in my article if I can dig them up again, of laser beams coming down.
I feel like this is, like, dangerously close to getting to be about, like, the Jews. You know what I mean? Like, he's saying the Cabal, but what does he really mean by that? What did he mean by this? Like, they need to come up with a way to say who they're actually pointing their blame to. In like, a more, like, palatable, like, way, so they can get the people on the hook, you know, and they can be like, well, it's the Cabal. It's the Cabal, everybody. And then in 10 years' time, they can be like, yeah, well, the Cabal is, let me tell you who's really in the Cabal, you know? I don't know if I like this.
You can see the beam through the smoke and the flames.
Laser beams, right.
This was not an accident. This is the HARP stuff where they can create a very fast blowing wind.
Okay, so the long and short of it is, this wildfire that happened was actually a cover-up to kill a bunch of alien humans or something. And they didn't, like, launch the water bombers because they wanted to kill off the aliens, and there was lasers that, like, struck the surface of Paradise, California with holy retribution. And, yeah, right. That's just great, dude.
The Santa Ana wind, which is originally Satana, the satanic wind, right? And they just changed the name to Santa Ana. There is no Saint Anna, you know. They just didn't want it to be Satanus, which is what it was originally called.
Satanus. It's Satan.
Guys,
why is it always Satan? Can we decide if it's Satan or aliens? Can't we just like I feel like, you know, have you ever heard the term double mumbo jumbo, where it's like, yeah, I can believe that this movie has werewolves, but I can't believe that this movie also coincidentally has, like, vampires. You know what I mean? And that's what's going on in this interview. It's like, I can maybe start to believe that it's aliens, but the moment you start talking about Satan, maybe it's Satan. I can maybe believe that it's Satan, but it has to be one or the other, you know? Like, you're really asking me to, like, believe a lot of things a lot of fast, dude. I don't know.
Fire. So
we don't all have, like, giga brains. We aren't all mega minds like you, mate.
The Paradise thing is really upsetting because we've never seen a city get so devastated in the history of America. And so many of these people who are totally innocent and were probably getting ready to risk their lives and come forward and introduce themselves to us, probably many of them have died. And it's also like the Cabal saying, if you guys talk again, if you think you're going to talk again, we're going to do this to you again. So I find the whole thing very, very sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is shocking.
So Paradise, so what you're telling us is Paradise City has been decimated completely.
Let me take it down.
Well, now, they may not have all gotten hit. And I'll tell you another weird thing about the Centaurians.
No, they missed Slash and his big fucking hat.
They can't really live above the ground for too long on Earth. They like it here, and of course Paradise, you got redwood trees, you got the forest. It's an amazing wilderness paradise. That's why they named it Paradise, because it was so beautiful. So it would make sense that these people, if they get a treaty, that they...
I don't know if I buy it. There's a lot of beautiful places in the world, but they aren't all just named Paradise. This seems suspicious. This guy's right.
They would want to live in such a beautiful place, right? The part that we don't really see, though, is that predominantly they live in an underground base. And so what they will have, and again, I'm sorry because this is going to sound like sci-fi, and you're going to have these people, the keyboard jockeys, they're going to be like, David Wilcock, he's so crazy, right?
Okay.
I'm just going to...
We're the keyboard jockeys, everybody. Yeah, now it's going to turn sci-fi. We are post-aliens, dental plates, Centaurians, Satan. But now it's going to start to sound a little bit like sci-fi. We have a colony of aliens living in an American city under covert circumstances. I'm pretty sure that's an actual TV show that I have seen. Wasn't that V? Wasn't that the plot of V? But now it's going to get a little bit science fiction, everybody. Buckle onto your fucking seatbelts.
Sometimes you need to laugh to learn the truth, you know? But they predominantly live in underground bases. And so they will, as part of the treaty, they might be given a house, but then the house will have an elevator shaft that will actually go deep down and then go down to one of these sub-shuttles where they can shuttle over to their underground city. So the house is not necessarily where they live.
Flat Earthers blown the fuck out!
But then,
get out of the chat, Flat Earthers. I know you're here. I know some of you came here. You know, there was a Flat Earth guy who, like, posted on my video about concave Earth. He was like, "Thank you for enlightening your audience to the truth of Flat Earth. Just remember to always question everything," or something. It's like, dude, you're in the wrong place with the wrong time, you know? Like...
And the question is...
take out an ad on fucking AdSense. That'll probably help you better than coming to my video.
Get to their elevator fast enough to get down below where the fire is? How many of them actually died? How many of them burned up? I don't know. You know, the Alliance is in the middle of what they call active operations right now. The final stage of getting ready to defeat the Cabal, so the briefings have dried up. But I would imagine a lot of Centaurians died in this fire. And they couldn't act fast enough because literally, as I said,
the Alliance
people
versus
are trying to evacuate.
the Cabal. Is that basically like the Hogwarts people versus like the other people? Why am I talking about Harry Potter today? Oh my god.
And the fire was so fast they didn't even have time to make it to their car.
Wow, very interesting.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And just for the record, people on our show that subscribe are gonna totally buy that elevator story. They're not gonna be jockeying.
Well,
just for the record, people that subscribe to our show are pretty big fucking morons. Don't worry, they'll buy anything you say, dude.
Now they're at home like this.
like we are too. So,
we believe you, bro.
I'm trying to remember because we actually did a series on an alien. We did 2 alien guide videos, which I thought it was the Centaurians, but maybe I'm getting confused now. Which one was it that you said they were like really big and buff, but if you find out about them, they might like follow you or something, and they were working within the government?
Centaurians, yes.
Like, what's the difference between like this group of Centaurians and the ones that basically? I mean, from my understanding too, there could be some that are working with the Cabal, and then some that are, you know, just trying to live very peaceful and maybe just studying the human race or whatnot.
So I'm glad you brought that up because it is an opportunity for me to make some clarifications. So first of all,
we're gonna get the skinny dope.
It's very
everybody.
rare that you would see a Centaurian walking around in public, unless it was Paradise, California, without a military escort. And this is going to be a guy who is roided out. You know, he's going to have the big steroid face, the acromegaly where his head is really big, his jaw is really big, he's really overly strong. So you're going to see a roided out military contractor dude walking around kind of on the periphery with the Centaurian. There's nothing that would stop him from wearing a wig or dyeing their hair, so you're not necessarily going to see...
I thought you said the Centauri guy was the one who was, like, super buff and, like, would follow you. Now you're saying that he's being followed, he's being, like, supported by a military guy who's super buff? Is it just, like, two buff bros? Is this the beginning of a gay porn?
him with white hair.
It's like alien gay porn. Is this the David Wilcock version of uniporn?
I did hear that they were also cleared by treaty to interact with the farmers markets in California. So, for whatever reason, if you go to the farmers market in LA and you see somebody who's really strong and looks kind of pale, you know, that could be one of them. Now,
it's probably just any person who lives in fucking California. Have you seen the Did you see Sverige? He was in California eating a fucking raw chicken. I'm pretty sure he's strong and pale. I think we found him, everybody. We found the fucking shape-shifting space horse alien.
I get a very different version of the Centaurians from, for example, Corey Goode and a couple others than I got from Henry Deacon. And it took me a while to figure out this is all the same group. Now, let's also be clear, these are not the Anshar. They are not the inner Earth civilizations that we're talking about, even though they do have certain underground bases. This is not the so-called fourth density people that Corey was talking to as the Anshar. It's a totally different group.
Oh my god. What is this? What is this fucking Second Life-ass character that I'm looking at right now? SphereBeingAlliance.com, huh? This shit looks like it's ready to fucking roleplay with you, man.
That Corey was talking to as the Anshar.
LRP.
It's a totally different group. And also another thing that people have gotten very confused about is that there really is not, you know, the names that the military-industrial complex gave various ET races were not exact. And so when
the military-industrial complex did not give most of these races their names. Most of these races were named by fucking Star Trek, actually. I remember learning that. I remember looking up the Lyrans, which stream eventually, by the way, the Lyran rabbit hole. It's pretty interesting. I remember looking up the Lyrans at one point and thinking, oh, they're like lion aliens. Okay. And then it turned out they were from a fucking episode of like Star Trek's like original series Star Trek or something. It's like, you couldn't even make your own fake bullshit aliens? Like, come on, dude.
you hear the term tall whites, there's a few.
Isn't that what you were just describing?
ETs that could be called tall whites, and so it is not like, oh, well, he's talking about the tall whites. I know about tall whites, and Charles Hall did the whole thing, and I know what they are, and they look like grays. It's like, no. There's lots of different tall whites, okay? They just call you that because you're tall and your skin is white. So like the various insectoid races, they might call them the crickets, they might call them the bugs, they might call...
Are these fucking spore characters? What am I looking at right now? These look like fucking spore creations.
Call them the mantis people. They have different names for them.
The
there
mantis
could be a lot
people.
of different types of insects.
I see you like Castlevania, Snake.
Too, you know, so... and again, this is all stuff that people are going to be learning. They might laugh right now. Your audience, the core audience, probably doesn't. But anything that you see on Earth, if you can imagine it being progressed forward to the point that it is hominid and intelligent, you can imagine that those types of beings exist somewhere, because that's really what it is. The biosphere of a planet pretty much stays the same as what we have here. But it then depends.
Fuck off. What a stupid fucking... Like, that is the dumbest fucking conspiracy. Hey, everybody. Every alien that exists is just gonna look like a fucking, like, bigger version of, like, a thing that we have on Earth. That's, like, the most closed-minded, like, creatively fucking derivative, like... Damn, dude. Yeah, there's no way that an alien could just be, like, a gas cloud. There's no way that an alien could just be, like, a fucking sheet of glass. There's no way that an alien could be like a fucking lake or something. No, they're all just gonna be like, what's that, a big fucking squirrel? Oh, it's the squirrelian alien. Oh, dude, run. I hate that shit. I hate that shit so much because it's like there's so much science fiction where they'll have aliens and it'll be like, oh, look out, it's a big alien monster, and it's just a fucking rabbit. It's like the Star Ocean games? Anybody ever play those? You're in space and it's like, oh, dude, I can't wait to have my big space adventure. Oh, I'm just fighting fucking space bugs. Okay, that's fine. Just space bugs and space rabbits. Okay, cool. It's like I never left fucking Final Fantasy Land. And this guy is like propagating that bullshit. I hate it.
On which species gets elevated to intelligent life, at which point it's going to have the hominid head, 2 arms, 2 legs, or so-called 5-star formation.
Why would you 5-star? Where are you getting this from? Why would you ever say that, though? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would, like, say, oh, yeah, that's just such a dumb fucking close-minded...
So,
I hate that shit. I am actually triggered right now. Because when I think about aliens and stuff, it's like, okay, you believe all your stupid nonsense if you want, David Wilcock, but personally, I believe that there's aliens out there that are just like fucking concepts. I believe there's aliens out there that are made of sound. Like weird shit. Like insane shit that we just can't perceive. And this fucking guy is just like, nah, they're just gonna look like big humanoid bugs. Thanks, David Wilcock. Thank you for limiting my alien creativity with your fucking truth. What a hard pill this truth is to swallow. I didn't think his fucking quote-unquote truth was going to be, like, less crazy than what I had in mind.
Back to the Centaurians and the core of what you were asking me. If you're dealing with some of the military-minded Centaurians, the folks who are here for sort of like their national defense, those types... or national, nation, race, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's probably not a nation. The defense types, yes. You do not want them to know that you recognize them. You probably would get telepathically tracked. You probably would get abducted. And then they would actually be able to give you a slice in the mind.
Don't even fucking worry about it, dude. I got some psychic vampire mind spray repellent from goop.com. I'm safe. They can't telepathically track me with the psychic vampire repellent. Come on, dude.
You don't remember ever seeing them. And you don't remember the contact or the abduction experience. Now, they're not going to torture you, but they're going to blank slate you and you're not going to remember it. And they do this pretty frequently, so it's not a good idea to go looking for Centaurians. I'm going to go to the farmer's market now every weekend, you know, look for these white guys. You know? I wouldn't do that. But there's other types of people, because they have all different types of social strata, and the ones that were living in paradise appear to be the more peaceful types of Centaurians.
Is this really still going? Jesus Christ.
One of the things Henry Deacon
Guys,
told
this
me
is
is
part 1. There's 3 parts.
Too much psychic interference. They don't want to be around.
Are we really doing all 3 parts of this? I kind of wanted to play some fucking games or something, honestly, because I can actually stream games now. Oh yeah, by the way, game streams are gonna happen, I guess, at some point. If I can find some that like will both play and also stream properly.
A lot of people. So if you were going to see them in paradise, they would typically be like at the back corner of a coffee shop, sitting alone, and you might have a conversation with them where you never look at them. You sit near them at a different table, and you have this whole telepathic thing going on, a very entertaining and blissful conversation. And then at the end, you might just turn to them.
This is what I don't like about this, is like, this is all fine. It's just some guy telling you, oh yeah, the aliens have telepathic conversation. It's like, yeah, that's all fine. Until it's some, like, weird guy who's watching this, who's like, oh yeah, they can talk to me telepathically. Yeah, I can hear what you're saying to me too. What do you mean you don't like me? What do you mean you want to kill me? I'll kill you first. You know, that kind of shit. Like, we don't need to be, like, I don't know, we don't need to be encouraging people to, like, go and fucking find people, but based on the qualifications of literally just sitting near, like, a wall alone at a coffee shop. We don't need to be, like, sending people to go and, like, do this. Is, I don't know, it's a slippery slope.
Smile and give them a nod, and otherwise you might not even look at them. So it's like any culture, they're complicated. It's not like there's simple little boxes you can put them in. Another thing I can tell you that's another world exclusive for you guys. And again, you know, the people are going to laugh, and I apologize, but Centaurians are very psychic. And so one of the things that they have for entertainment is treaties where they will go from their underground home to this base under Las Vegas.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, it's like I would be able to start believing this man. I would be able to approach believing him if he offered me like some pictures, some actual pictures of anything he's saying. All that we're going on is like artists' interpretations of weirdo alien species, but he's just like, oh yeah, no, sometimes they'll look like this, sometimes they'll do this, occasionally you'll talk to them by this means, oh, they're psychic. It's like, all you need to give me is a fucking blurred out picture, dude. All I'm asking for is like one picture, and I probably still won't believe it, but at least it would like approach believable for me. Unlike, here's a fucking drawing of an alien. Please believe me, guys. Do you really think anybody would go on the internet and just tell lies like that? That's not... You don't do that. You don't just go on the internet and tell lies.
They'll take elevators up. They'll close down certain casinos at certain times. They'll take elevators up from the base into the casino, which most of these casinos have those, because there's a lot of relationship between casinos and the military-industrial complex, actually, and the mafia.
Well, yeah.
So they'll bring these Centaurians and certain other human ET groups up.
He just keeps saying stuff that's like, he just says it and you're just expected to like, oh, okay. I think that's part of the tactic, honestly. He throws so much shit at you that you just have to like, eventually you either just don't believe him or you just believe it all, you know? It's like, or you believe enough of it that he's trying to tell you, and some of the stuff that like comes along the way, like, oh, the government is really related to casinos and the mafia, I guess, and aliens. It's like, yeah, okay, dude. All right. What did you say about how like the sun is actually a fucking egg? Oh, we're doing this now. It's like you can't stick to one thing. It just keeps getting crazier and stupider.
Into the casino, and then what they do is literally like a psychic Olympics.
Oh my god.
In which they are competing with each other to cheat in these Vegas games like roulette, poker, you name it. Who is better at being able to psychically pick each other's cards? Who is better at being able to manipulate where the little roulette ball goes? How the dice roll if you're playing craps? And they know that everybody's cheating, but it's this kind of ET Olympics in terms of which group can out-cheat the other group at Vegas. And so...
Astounding.
This is one of the things they do as a sporting event, believe it or not.
Okay.
And again, it sounds so bizarre, but this is the kind of weird
you
stuff
can't just keep saying, oh, I know it sounds crazy. That doesn't make it not be crazy, you know? Like, that's... I know that's tempting. You want to be like, well, I know it sounds crazy, but if you'll just know, but you can't keep saying that for literally every part of your story. It's like, oh, it's the ET Olympics. I know it sounds crazy to say it's the ET Olympics where they fucking compete to like gamble in Las Vegas for some reason. Why they would go to Vegas, why they would think to go to Vegas, why they would assume to gamble, why they would like have a concept of gambling or like the same notion of gambling that we humans do. I don't know, but they sure like gambling. I know that sounds crazy. But just listen to me. I promise.
David, how do I sign Ben up for that? I gotta get him in there.
Lose a lot of money.
Also, I just want to say thank you for putting my mind at ease. I always knew there was a conspiracy revolved around California farmers markets. I knew it. I knew there had to be. I can go to sleep really well tonight.
No, you're good.
You gotta watch out for those daikon roots and those arugula vegetables.
Exactly. I knew those mushrooms were weird.
It's so funny. It's just so funny. Are we still laughing? Is the camera still rolling? It's just so funny, David. You're such a good guest, David. You're so well endowed and handsome.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and going back to Vegas, I mean, we've heard that too. Where a lot of these ETs actually will go to Vegas and they just like hanging out and gambling and seeing what.
I guess that's why what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This is all just a big joke.
I don't think they're.
I wonder if the fucking Edge of Wonder guys are like in on the joke. I feel like this channel almost might be like them trying to see how fucking far they can take it. Like, it's not exactly a parody, but it's like two guys who maybe don't buy the shit that's going on in the like interview or whatever. But they're just trying to see how like crazy they can get their videos to be, and like how many people will like buy it, you know? Like, I feel like this is just something they stumbled upon where they were like, wow, you know, shit, okay, people think that aliens gamble. All right, cool. Let's just make a fucking bunch of videos about this shit.
Buy these treaties to snooker
Easy mill.
normal people. From my understanding, they will have a special event. They will close the casino down, and then you'll have these people in there competing against each other, but not against ordinary folks, because you know they would just devastate people, and they would make so much money that you can't really let them do this.
Yeah, the problem I have with this again is it's just like fostering this kind of like mindset, I guess, where now like a person who's a little bit mentally unbalanced, before, if they walked by a casino that was like closed and had like a special reserved party happening, they might have just assumed, oh, somebody got married or some like mob boss is in town or whatever. But now you're going to see like a casino closed. You're going to see a tall person with blonde hair. You're going to see somebody sitting alone in a cafeteria, and you're just going to be like, oh yeah, it's aliens. Them's the aliens. David Wilcock told me. And I don't even think he's being that malicious. I think dude wants money, and I think dude's selling some fucking Mondo books and movies and shit off of this. I don't think he really thinks about, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a bunch of people to go crazy and like think crazy things. It's like, that's probably not what it is, but it's just gonna fuck with people who have like problems, and I don't know, that's not cool.
Amongst ordinary people, even if they look like us and we wouldn't be able to tell them apart from others, they only really do this as these sort of special functions where they're only working against their own people and others like them in this.
That's another thing, is this whole like driven home point about how the aliens look like us and they're very similar to us, and it's just like this hammering home to somebody who's crazy is getting this thing drilled into their head that, oh, so it could be anyone. It could be my fucking mom. Fuck you, mom. It could be like, this is not good. This is going to be the video that leads someone to do something crazy.
Olympics.
So, David, on this subject, what do you, like, especially relating to the fire, getting back to the fires and...
Yeah, getting back to the fucking subject of the video, away from all this weird, crazy alien bullshit.
Centurions, how would President Trump, do you think they know about what's going on here?
I don't know. I mean, that's part of why I wanted to write this article, which I'm still developing. I'm getting close to being finished with it now, is that I don't know.
I just need to do the pictures. I just need to draw the pretty pictures.
If Trump and his administration even know about the Centaurians, honestly. And the reason why I say this is Pete Peterson, who was, again, called Dr. Do by Reagan and Cheney and Rumsfeld, that whole Reagan administration, he was their #1 technology advisor. He had an amazing ability to invent
Listen to fucking depressed ancient Robin Williams. Listen to Santa Claus over here. He knows what's going on. He's going to tell us about the aliens, everybody.
Advisor. He had an amazing ability to invent interesting stuff. His grandfather was Nikola Tesla's lab assistant. He learned all the Tesla patents and secret technology, and they trained him with a different high-level black ops scientist every year.
Sounds
6
like
months
a lie.
training, 6 months internship for like years of his life. So he has the equivalent of like multiple PhDs. And he invented a whole lot of really amazing classified stuff, because once you understand the technology that well, it dramatically opens up all kinds of new doors in terms of materials science, in terms of computer technology, in terms of understanding chemistry, understanding how materials...
I remember like a minute ago when the guy with the fucking like newsboy hat was like, "Can we get back to the fires, mister? Golly gee." And he's like, "Yeah, well, speaking of the fires, here's some ancient Duck Dynasty motherfucker, and now we're talking about Tesla and secret black ops scientists, and like, here's some fucking stock footage of some dudes with beakers, I guess." Speaking of the fire.
You know, he would... There's certain things he'd talk about all the time, like, you know, gallium arsenide and bismuth and...
bismuth.
All kinds of weird stuff. So, regarding the Centaurians... and what Pete told me about them, this is something that isn't necessarily going to be given to the President of the United States. The President of the United States is only at a certain level of classification, and you don't really learn
well, maybe not this President of the United States
space program until you're at cosmic clearance, and cosmic is 35 levels.
Cosmic clearance.
The President of the United States. What I did hear from Pete was that Trump will get cosmic clearance, but that they wait until you've been in office for 2.5 years. And that hasn't happened yet. That's next July. So
Peter
what
Peterson.
we have to do now is I wanted to communicate this to the Alliance through
Where's our
public
boy
media
Ashtar? I'm
to
not
let
sure.
them know if they didn't know. I can prove
He's one of the aliens,
if they wanted to bring
obviously.
me in
He's one of
and
the
have me,
tall
you know,
whites.
play these tapes to them confidentially. I can prove that we've been talking about Paradise since 2007, and that I knew that this was the most important town in America for extraterrestrial human authorized immigration. And so
The horse lords of Zeta
real fishy is
Reticuli.
going on here, and I highly suspect that Centaurians had decided they were going to come forward, introduce themselves to us. We get sort of the gentle disclosure where the first group that we meet are people that don't really look any different, but then they take the contact lens off, and oh my God, he's got a purple eye. Is that true? You know, and then doctors have to confirm it. They take the plate off. You see the little bumps on the bottom of their teeth. Oh my God, their teeth are different. Is this a joke? Did they sculpt it with a dentist?
See, now, okay, at first when he was starting this, when we started this video, we're now almost at the end of this video. This is like nearly a 40-minute video, and we've basically finished it. And this is part 1, remember. So, basically, like, at the beginning of the video, it was kind of like, okay, well, why are you talking about aliens? Why are you going in all these weird directions? But now that he's, like, at the end of this part, it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, kind of. The idea is there was a bunch of people who were, like, secretly aliens living in Paradise, California, and they were just like, yeah, dude, we're gonna, like, expose the truth or whatever, and, like, 5 minutes before that happened, the fires started, or something, and it's, like, really convenient, I guess. And, like, that's fine, that's a valid conspiracy to, I guess, have, but doesn't it seem like it's a little bit more complicated than just fires happen? Like, sometimes fires occur. I don't know if there needs to be an alien conspiracy going on because it's a fire, David. I don't know, dude. Like 9/11, you might have something there. I mean, what? Canceled. Canceled.
With this fire now, it's like somebody sent them a message, because this thing's way too weird. We've never seen a fire like this before. And then for it to happen right after the mass shooting, which is clearly a setup, it's like the Cabal wanted you to know that they did this on purpose. And they wanted to threaten extraterrestrial humans to make them afraid of coming forward. But I can tell you, if I understand anything about these people, and myself included, we will not be intimidated. We will not be silenced. Disclosure will not be stopped. We will take the losses, and we are going to move forward.
Remember to smash that fucking like button. Don't forget to ring that bell.
Part 2 of our exclusive interview with David Wilcock, where he reveals what really happened on 9/11.
Oh my God, Lois. I was fucking joking. I didn't think we were actually... Okay, should we watch part 2? Is part 2 about to happen? We could honestly just leave it here. I mean, it's up to you. The Whole Truth interview by David Wilcock, part 2 and 3. Or 2 of 3. Why is part 3 48 minutes? Okay, look, we're going to look at part 2 because I want to know about the 9/11 truth, but maybe we will save part 3 for like another time. There's a lot of other shit from David Wilcock here, and this is just Edge of Wonder, except for this one, I guess. We might still need to look into his fucking channel on its own. But let's see what's going on here. The whole truth, everybody, and nothing but the truth.
Edge of Wonder.
The cabal was trying to nuke America.
Say what?
Nuke
David?
America great again. Oh,
enough,
yeah, before we get started here, let me jump to some super chats here. We have $2 from Ronson. Nitro Rat is going to look like this guy in 15 years. I mean, yeah. Listen, Nitro Rat, I love you, bud, but you might want to invest in some hair gel or well, not hair gel. What's the thing? Some like I don't know, dude. It's unfortunate, but just try your best not to look like David Wilcock. That's the only thing that really matters. Claw, generic nickname with 20 DKK. Claw, what's your alien OC? Donut Steel. I actually secretly invented Ashtar. All prior information about Ashtar before my video about Ashtar is lies and slander and legally owned by me. I invented Ashtar. Look it up. Don't look it up. $2 from Teko no Kash with stuck at work, but a Deadwing stream. Thanks. Well, you're welcome, sir. I hope that your work is somewhat enjoyable or at least adequate. Generic nickname with 20 DKK again. Cabal. Written in like echo brackets. $5 from Princeton Abbott with my mom completely believes that most of the population is possessed by Satan. It's actually very popular. I believe that. We looked at the Transvestigation Nation a little while ago. That stream is still up on the channel. And yeah, they certainly believe their stuff. That's for sure. They definitely believe that Satan is involved, and yeah, it's definitely Satan. There's no easier explanation than it's Satan. And finally, $2 from Zach Victor. When you watch too much Rick and Morty, I don't know if that was targeted to me and my bizarre like glass sound aliens rant, or if it was directed at this guy and everything he's ever done ever. But thank you. And now we're all caught up here. Let's return back. Isn't that fade nice? Doesn't that look professional? It's almost like I'm a real streamer. It's great.
To stand up to us, then you deserve to be enslaved. That's literally what they think. This led to the creation of something called the Plan.
And what could this plan reveal?
The Alliance has been working over and over again to try to get disclosure. They've got recordings inside the White House. They've got recordings from Bohemian Grove. They've got recordings of ritual sacrifices. And don't tell me that
the Final Fantasy series was invented by Satan. I believe it. Did you ever see the sequel to Crystal Chronicles? Did you see the fucking Wii Crystal Chronicles game? Satan was definitely involved in that shit.
It's all coincidence. People really shouldn't be afraid to learn the truth.
So get ready for some Edge of Wonder truth bombs.
I do believe they will succeed.
In part 2 of this David Wilcock exclusive. And now, your hosts, Ben and Rob.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That was our recent video that we just published specifically on satanic ritual abuse. And we get right into like Hollywood, and she's explaining some of the clients that she has and their experience. So everything you're talking about is like exactly what we've been focusing on in the last few episodes that we've made, specifically about like all this satanic stuff. I mean, you look at, there's like, I don't even know what they're called anymore, this Korean pop band.
K-pop?
They have like 100 million views, yeah, over, it was
I knew K-pop was Satan.
views they had within like a day or something.
Have you ever fucking
know?
seen
Oh, yeah, the
K-pop
Illuminati
people?
symbolism.
Have you ever seen K-pop people and the way they act on Twitter? It is at least a cult, if not like satanic.
The K-pop
my
videos
gosh,
are
Very
it's
least
totally
it's a cult.
outrageous.
completely. I mean, it's like over the top. I don't know if you've watched it. You should check it out after the video. Just watch these K-pop things, and you'll just see it everywhere. It's nuts.
Maybe you don't.
I actually think in the future you're going to have
I'm actually a really big
entire
fan of
college
K-pop already. I stand Jun Lee Hyun.
degrees that people can get just focused on in the aftermath of the mass arrests, in the aftermath of the cabal's defeat, where people spend their whole college curriculum just tracking the enormity of symbolism that they were deploying into our culture, which is really audacious. But remember, they have to do this. They have a belief system that tells them that the only way they can maintain the money and the power that they have is to hide it out in the open. In other words, they feel they have rules and that they are required to do this. They are required to openly advertise, to show us what they're doing, so that the idea is if you're not brave enough to stand up to us, then you deserve to be enslaved. That's literally what they think.
Or we can just
But then
buy
the
our
funny
children a
part is
T-shirt
that,
to do the
you know,
work for
there's
us.
this sort of paranoid schizophrenia that a lot of people get somewhat of a taste of, and it's very important to remember that, you know, they can listen to everybody's phone and laptop or whatever, but there's nowhere near enough staff to go after the awakening, to prosecute the awakening. It's very, very, very rare.
So it's basically like the
Even
Copa
some of
thing?
The most awakened
Thanks, dude.
truthers will ever even get 10 seconds of attention from a live agent working for the cabal. And they have really done an amazing, amazing con job of making people think that they have so many personnel, that they have so many.
And I
boots
know
on the
my
ground.
con jobs.
I mean, we literally have, and it's funny because now with Above Majestic coming out, there are people, we had this whole email exchange actually where someone who was taking one of my wife's classes had just promoted Above Majestic on her Facebook page, or I think it was Instagram, and then she started to make correlations with anything bad that happened in her life as if it was because she had promoted our movie. She got so freaked out about the boogeyman, the monster under the bed, that she started to think, oh my God, my cats got sick and their noses, you know, there's runny noses on my cats. And it's like, wait a minute, whoa, hold on. These people do not have the staff to knock on your door tomorrow morning. How
These
the hell
people do
have I been
not
doing this
have
for 25
magical cat nose running abilities. But yeah, I agree. These people probably don't have that staff, but by the same token, maybe you shouldn't fucking, like, make a bunch of people who are already clearly crazy and unhinged, like, think this crazy shit, you know? Maybe you can just, like, not put extra ideas in their head about alien conspiracies and stuff, because they've already got those conspiracies in their head. That ship has sailed, but you're not helping, David.
years and I'm still alive, if they're so good at this. If they're so good at threatening people, stopping you from talking, playing the gun of the money where they got a fistful of $100 bills in one hand and a gun in the other, and they say, I'm not leaving unless I give you one of these two things. That's never happened to me, you know? And I'm a very prominent person exposing this stuff with millions of followers.
I'm usually the one getting the money from the people at the other end of the gun.
You don't need to worry about them. They don't have anywhere near enough staff to go after people, and so therefore people really
Allegedly,
shouldn't be
by the way, that was
afraid
completely
to
alleged.
learn the truth. Just watching videos and becoming involved. Look, there's hundreds of millions of people learning about this, and they have probably not even 100,000 people that they could actually use to go after you. So it's completely ridiculous to be afraid of learning the truth at this point.
We've heard from a lot of different sources that a lot of the people who were maybe kind of not necessarily, I don't want to say really evil maybe, but just kind of involved with all that are starting to really break away now. I think with the QAnon movement and everything, they're seeing the truth and they're like, okay, there's hope. I'm leaving this completely. I'm turning away from all these people and I'm going to join like the good side and fight against them and whatnot. And we're starting to see that happen a lot more. And like people, like new channels are coming up, and that's what people are saying to us too. Like, wow, you guys just kind of came out of nowhere. And it's just, I think it's just this cosmic timing that all these things are just kind of happening together. And when these things kind of happen, it's like there is this divine influence that just kind of, whether people just get ideas, dreams, or actually visions, whatever happens, it's like they're being told, it's like it's time to come out. And that's what I felt with us.
It's okay to be gay in the alien navy.
I feel like plays into that cosmic timing.
It's a very brave movie. It's a very
That's right, everybody.
Movie.
We're all going to join the QAnon people on like 8chan talking about like Kakistan and Pizzagate and things like that. And that's going to be us fighting the good fight. Just keep asking questions, disbelievers.
I was aware that the stuff that I committed to that tape was painting a target on me. You know, because there was an original shot that we did early in the year, and I saw an initial edit of the film, and I had this hair sticking out and floating 2 inches away from my head over here, and it was just not.
You're sure that's not just your hairline floating 2 inches above your head?
Quality of the shot, but I also saw what was chosen in terms of the information for the film. And so I went through and I transcribed all that stuff, and then I rewrote it and I added a whole bunch of new stuff in writing. And then I memorized that, and then I retaped it with all the new information. And that really, really transformed the film very dramatically. But the things that I added in were very brave. And it's the most daring presentation I've ever given, really.
The Germans had a settlement on the moon, they had a settlement on Mars.
Honestly, I'm a hero. You all should really be thanking me for my service.
Extraterrestrial spacecraft have appeared over nuclear missile installations and have
shirt.
completely powered them down.
Maybe he only owns one
then
shirt.
to see that we took that kind of a risk and the film goes to #1 was extremely rewarding. We're not in a reality anymore where people are going to laugh at you about this stuff.
This film is the red pill that wakes you up to what's really going on in the world.
The red pill. He actually said red pill.
And
Guys,
at
he
some
actually
point,
just said red pill. What do we do? He actually just said the fucking term red pill. I'm scared and disoriented.
All going to break open. The more you get involved, the more compromised you become. They may actually kill you.
Okay, so David, Ben and I saw you at Contact in the Desert, and we watched your entire presentation that covered the Cabal and 9/11. And we were wondering if you can kind of go over some of that with us. Like, we'd like to hear a little bit more about Whitewater and Oklahoma City bombing and maybe 9/11 as well.
Well, and then coming into 9/11.
Right.
Like,
I mean, we had a live episode after that where we were totally blown away by that, by the way. It was an awesome presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, obviously that's a huge subject because really what I was doing was sort of tracing the history of the Alliance and informing the audience that this is not anything new. There has been an organized effort.
I can't believe David Wilcock just inducted the fucking 9/11 tragedy into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't believe the Alliance is involved. I knew it!
After this cabal for
What about the
many
Cabal?
years,
What did they do?
And there were a couple different ways that it happened. One of the ways was Howard Hughes, the aircraft tycoon. Because Hughes had Hughes Aircraft Company, which was one of the big military defense contractors, and he became aware that the other contractors were getting these sweetheart deals, that he was never even given an opportunity to outbid them, and became aware that they were working on really weird exotic technology that Hughes wasn't being given access to, okay? So Howard Hughes hired female sex workers, but specially trained as agents. Like, they do assassinations and they get information. And they use sex to do that.
Wow,
So
that almost sounds like it's not true, David.
I mean, thank God nobody's done this to me, because it's, you know, you might think as a guy that you'd want to be seduced, but not one of these.
Thank God none of these sex robot ladies have come to kill me. Please, please, please come to kill me. My address is...
But let's just say that you're targeted, you're part
Hey, X, how do I summon a succubus?
of the cabal in this case, because that's what Howard Hughes did. He used these women to target people in the cabal. So here's what would happen. You happen to be somewhere,
These are numbered,
you know,
motherfuckers.
this woman comes up to you, she's really extremely unusually good looking. And they'll pick, only women that have that level of attractiveness will be picked for this kind of a job. She will come on to you really strongly and tell you, you know, make it very clear that she is interested in having sex with you right away. If you're dumb enough to fall for this, which a lot of people are, you know, because these women are really good at it, if they're trained,
then you're gonna get scammed by the bartender who she's in business with, and they're gonna take all your money, and you know that's just the price of a D cup, you know. Yakuza taught me well. Speaking of Yakuza, I got Judgment earlier. It was on like half off, so I decided to take another trip through Kamurocho. I wasn't super into getting Judgment, because as much as it sounds cool, I was like, really? One city? Just Kamurocho? Again? You know, the PS2 game had just Kamurocho, right? You know, the second PS2 game had a second city, right? I don't know, but I'm enjoying it so far.
they really know what they're doing. So you end up in bed with them, and they will actually carry through with the whole thing. And a lot of times what they'll use...
Dude, there's
is
only one
drugged.
part that I
And
care about them
so
carrying
you
through
will
with.
be drugged at some point.
Yeah, that sounds
and
fine.
Then after the whole act has been finished...
So it's gonna
they'll
happen then.
They'll open up to you as if they're now like gonna be your girlfriend.
Isn't that supposed to
your
happen
wife in the
before
future
or
whatever.
during, really?
And you're softened up by the drugs and the fact that you had sexual intercourse, and so these women would get these guys to tell them really amazing secrets. And so this is where Howard Hughes deployed multiple women, you know, who now we would think of them as like CIA agents or something like that. They didn't have that back then. Maybe they had the OSS, but, you know, there still was training of this sort going on for women and men.
Secrets,
So what they
conspiracies,
found, what Howard Hughes
sex for
discovered,
favors.
from these women was that there were people in a satanic cult running these defense contractor companies.
Why is it always
The
Satan,
cult
dude?
believed in Lucifer being the good guy and not Satan. They don't believe in Satan. They think Satan's a myth. But then they think that the God of the Western traditions, the Abrahamic religions, which is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they think that God is actually an evil imposter. And there's different words for it. They'll call it the egregore, or they'll call it the demiurge, which means half God.
Okay, this is just
And
getting into
egregore
Final
is the word
Fantasy
root of
territory
egregious,
now.
which means really disgusting. So they think that the God that most of us believe is true is really disgusting. And that it's not a real God, that it's this trap. So these sex courier women basically are learning all this stuff that these people believed that they were the descendants.
Remember,
of
guys, this is the shocking truth about
the crash
9/11.
landed on this planet from
The sex
our solar
couriers
system from an
and
ancient
Howard Hughes.
civilization, which is Mars, in part.
And Mars,
Also
I
the
guess.
destroyed planet, which became
Fucking
the asteroid
Satan,
belt. That's the
okay.
whole thing we talk about in Above Majestic.
Pretty sure Satan was
These
not the
people
I
have
listen.
elongated skulls.
I am pretty sure Satanism was not the operative religion at play during 9/11. That's all I'm
in
going
their
to say.
pure form.
Good lord.
And so they believe that the elongated skull phenology is the phenology of Lucifer as a race. They literally believe Lucifer is a flesh and blood human who crash landed on Earth with his cohorts, populated the planet, and they are all blood descendants of Lucifer. So we talk about this quite a bit in Above Majestic. It's very daring stuff. I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but you can watch the movie and learn all this. So the point is, all this information got back to Howard Hughes, and he's seeing, well, these people actually think of themselves as an invading race, a different race of people, different types of humans. And they have taken over the press, they've taken over the media with television, film, music, they've taken over the judiciary, a lot of the police in the managerial.
Yeah, remember, guys, he's not going to get into it now. He doesn't want to get into the craziness now. You just have to go and watch his friends. I mean, you have to go and watch this movie that he's recommending that's totally not in any way related to himself or his friends or anything. No, you just have to go watch that movie and pay money for it, and then you'll get the truth. I promise, though. Dude, I promise.
Educational system, big...
Even though this video is called The Whole Truth.
Agriculture, big pharma. It's almost crazy to conceive of how vast this control matrix is. Now, Howard Hughes passed this information along to certain American generals who were not part of the cabal, who he felt he could trust. The next big event that I talked about in that speech at Contact in Desert that you guys are referring to was that in the Korean War, the American troop positions were getting compromised. And they would go to a certain place where the battle plan said that they were going to set up their staging area, and every damn time they got ambushed, the Koreans were ahead of them. The Koreans blew them up.
This sounds interesting. There's like a lot of this video left, though, and I'm wondering when the fuck we get to, like, 9/11. This is supposed to be a fucking video. Well, I guess it's not. It's technically just the whole truth. It's not exclusively related to 9/11, but it kind of looks like it's about 9/11. It starts with that, and it's like, what are we on, fucking Kennedy now? I don't know, guys. Are we fucking equipped to handle the whole truth? Like,
so what did they do? They said, we got to figure out where the leak is, because somebody is ratting us out. So they looked at the list of who they have to tell their troop positions to by international law, and they put little pieces of disinformation in each one.
It takes like fucking 10 minutes before we get to 9/11. What is this shit? This fucking Hillary Clinton? Oh, she's behind it all. I knew it.
And it came back that the place that was compromised was the United Nations, because by law, thanks to international treaties, they were required to tell the United Nations where their troop positions were going to be.
God damn it, Sweden, you pressed the wrong fucking button again. Good job, guys.
And when they gave the UN a fake troop position, that's where the ambush was. At this point, and this again, the Korean War, for those of you who don't really have a full grasp of the history, this was in the mid-1950s now, okay? This led to the creation of something called the Plan, which over time became a 5-inch thick binder. And the plan was intended to disclose to the people that were involved in doing it how they could actually defeat the cabal. How could they overthrow the cabal? Eisenhower appears to have been aware of this plan and was partly involved in drawing it up, which is why he did his infamous warning about the military-industrial complex at the end of his speech. Kennedy goes into office from the beginning, working for the alliance, from the beginning, working to try to do the plan. And the Cuban Missile Crisis literally was intended to work. The cabal was trying to nuke
Should America. I be muting when I'm smoking right now? Because like I feel like it's perfectly appropriate for the video that we're watching. I'm just going to stay on
first strike capability out of Cuba to hit the U.S.
Stream is not for 13-year-olds or below, children. Get lost.
So that was not BS, okay? Where Kennedy really got into trouble was when he tried to nationalize the assets of the U.S. Treasury, which you'd say, well, wait a minute, David, aren't they already nationalized? The Treasury was trying to sell off all their silver. And what Kennedy did is to stop the sale of silver and to issue silver-backed money.
This is getting dull. Look, I'm sorry. If he gets to 9/11, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll watch the rest of it sometime. But I am too bored about this fucker to like continue watching this. I'm sorry. So instead of continuing to torture ourselves with the David Wilcock interview, which is just rambling, meandering nonsense about literally every important event in American history, which I guess is the only thing that matters in this, like, scenario, the whole truth. The whole truth here doesn't seem to extend to, like, I don't know, fucking China's political structure. There's not a bunch of, like, pyramid alien conspiracies going on in China. For whatever reason, it's just the United States, I guess. So, let's move swiftly along here. Let's just go ahead and take a look at David Wilcock's website. Let's read a little bit about David here, because I know I want to know more about this lad. This cunning stunt of a lad. Let's see. We got $2 here from Illustrious Cabbage, who says Satanists can burn California but can't find you. Emoji. Yeah, I agree. That is a little weird. And then 5 pounds, I think that's pounds, from Dark Fruit Dolls. Look at Andrew Basiago, the guy who claimed he and Obama went to Mars through a teleportation device called a jump room. It's priceless. Well, evidently it's priced at 5 pounds. But thank you. I will add that to the list. Well, actually, let me look that guy up right now. Andrew Basiago. Like Basiago cheese? Oh, we're on Gaia.com, are we? Okay. Fun fact, Gaia.com is like right next to David Wilcock on my list right now of things to talk about. I think we're going to be doing a Gaia dive soon, pretty soon on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, so get excited about that. If you're not familiar with Gaia.com, you will be. But Andrew Basiago, Gettysburg jump. Okay. All right. Is this like art from fucking Portal? Okay, we're gonna save this one to the list. Andrew Basiago cheese. But for now, we're looking at and thank you, Dark Fruit Dolls, for the suggestion. For now, we're looking at David Wilcock still. About David Wilcock. Welcome to the Divine Cosmos, the official internet home for the work of David Wilcock. Within this site are thousands of free pages and scientific and spiritual information about soul growth, ascension, and the evolution of consciousness. David Wilcock is a professional lecturer, filmmaker, and researcher of ancient civilizations, consciousness science, and new paradigms of matter and energy. His upcoming Hollywood film, it's a Hollywood film, guys. Convergence unveils the proof that all life on Earth is united in a field of consciousness, which affects our minds in fascinating ways. What's going on with Convergence? What's this wonderful film, Hollywood movie? David's scientific work, thoroughly documented for free public consumption, being realized into a Hollywood feature dramatic film. Wait, what? We hope to have the film out soon. This is a movie that not only should be made, it needs to be made. I want to see Convergence movie. Is this like real? Is this a different There's a lot of movies called Convergence. Convergence movie, David Wilcock, yes. David Wilcock's Convergence, the movie? This is from 2012. What's going on here? Psychedelic adventure. Oh, God.
This experience was a multi-layered one. Indeed, a multi-dimensional one. And whilst this...
Is this an actual clip from his quote-unquote movie? Huh.
Gathering was experienced lifetime. choosing to
Hey, look, it's
experience the
Jesus.
triggering, awakening,
See, even Jesus believes in David Wilcock.
and the gathering
Why don't
in
you?
this way. All this is destiny from the highest.
Okay, well, I don't care. That's cool. Let's go back to reading about him. So he's got a Hollywood movie, and I guess that's what you were just watching. I hope I don't get content claimed for his stunning Hollywood movie. David is also the subject and co-author of the international bestseller, The Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce? Question mark? Case? Which explores the remarkable similarities between David and Edgar, features many of David's most inspiring psychic readings, and reveals documented NASA scientific proof of interplanetary climate change. I feel like you just threw two conspiracy theories together. Like, okay, interplanetary climate. I've never heard of that as like a thing that we were supposed to be worried about. But apparently we have proof of it. A brief. No, I'm not saying that climate change is a conspiracy theory, but it's kind of like viewed as one almost in a way. So it's like he went with aliens and also climate change. It's like alien climate change. Okay. A brief history of David's experiences. Updated in 2006? Hasn't been updated since 2006. Really, dude? Okay. Age 2. Cylinders in the sky. Uh-huh. David's parents divorced when he was 11 years old. He quickly began gaining weight and emotional eating, trying to stuff his pain with food. As he got larger, he started wearing black t-shirts to try to hide the weight and became increasingly socially isolated. Why is this guy talking about his fucking being a fat kid? Like, who cares? He committed to a weight loss plan, and he learned, like, lucid dreaming. Okay. Great, dude. Congratulations. His grades improved. Wow, I literally could not care less. Ascension2000.com. What's going on there? Ascension2000.com. Is this down? This is probably many years ago. Can I even show this? Oh god. Okay, I think this is fine, but it's not in the right language. So that's right, French people. You are speaking the wrong language. I would like to let you know that now. But yeah, Ascension 2000 came online. Why is it always Ascension? There's the Ascension cult that's like related to that Kanye game. And now there's Ascension 2000, the fucking David Wilcock group. Website, whatever, and then there's like the Ascension wiki that we looked at in that video, which I don't think had anything to do with the fucking Kanye West cult, even though Kanye is in the thumbnail. In November of 96, at age 23, David broke through to direct verbal contact with his own higher self. So he finally hit day 500 of NoFap. That's cool. Thanks to the tuning provided by the Law of One study and the ongoing daily dream work. Okay. As soon as David arrived in Virginia Beach, many ARE people recognized him as the spitting image of young Edgar Cayce. Then in November of 97, after considerable speculation from self and others, David confronted his source directly about the possibility of having been Edgar Cayce in a past life. The source said that, in short, the answer is yes, and with this knowledge comes great responsibility. Well, you know, with power comes stealing Spider-Man quotes for your fucking crazy bullshit, allegedly. And other than the start of the channeling itself, this was by far the greatest surprise of David's entire life. It was extremely difficult for him to accept this. Okay, beginning in July of 1999, 500 paid personal readings. Right. Edgar Cayce. Who the fuck is Edgar Cayce? Who homeboy this is? Who mans is this? American self-professed clairvoyant who answered... Okay, so he's another fucking fraud. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, then it's probably... possibly, you know, it stands to reason. Alright, well... There's our boys. That's Edgar Case, and that's David. And as you can clearly see, the nose is completely different. And, I mean, the lips are completely different. And, like, the facial structure is completely different. And the ears are totally different. And also, just because you're the reincarnations of somebody doesn't mean you're gonna, like, look like them. That's more like a time travel thing. Did you time travel, David? Is that what happened? Okay, well... That's something. That's some stuff about David, I guess. Kind of books he has? Free books. Yo, free books. Financial Tyranny, The Shift of the Ages, Science of Oneness, The Law of One Study Guide, The Divine Cosmos. Isn't this the movie that he came out with? These are like part in a series. These are the Convergence series. Okay. The Reincarnation. Why are these all free? David's Store. I guess he's got more books. Oh, these are like the real books. The New York Times bestseller. The Source Field Investigations. The Hidden Science and Lost Civilizations Behind the 2012 Prophecies. Yeah, boy, that one stood the test of time. Okay, David's digital product. Oh, here we go. Let's buy some products, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. Hold on. I need some music for this one. We need some good music for this one. Let's bust out the fucking this here we go. There we go. Let's just go. Give me that refund, then I'll go. Oh no, it's gonna make me fucking... No, I don't want to fucking... So I don't have a media player yet on this new computer, and boy, do the ones that come with Windows ever just fucking suck beans. Right. Just play my shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's fine. We'll just play this one. There you go. That's more like it. We can access our higher self video for $77.77. What's going on here? Over 3 hours with David Wilcock. Alone. A recorded online video conference and the professional re-recorded version of this essential material. Why was it re-recorded? Did he like sneeze in the first recording? A lot of shit that we can learn through this one. No wonder it's $77.77. I don't know, guys. No Black Friday deals or anything. We can get some... We can just donate now. And it's free, too! Oh, that's the best donation I've ever fucking made. What is my purpose for $18? $99? What is a Wanderer Awakening? The gold version. Oh, no. There's like... Okay, so the fucking starter version is like gold. And then platinum, and then galactic? That's not a thing. You can't just make that a thing. Galactic. The creme de la creme of the Wanderer Awakening story and our best deal. The galactic version tells the complete Wanderer story. But in both the traditional vocally sung musical way. Original music by David? With David as the lead singer. Guys, David has songs. We gotta go listen to some fucking David Wilcock music right now. David Wilcock music. Well, no, this is not the guy. This is the guy. Music by David Wilcock. Okay, shut up, Sims Music. Sorry, Jerry Martin, you're a legend, but here we have some David Wilcock music, I think, because Larry Sayer is like listed on that site as like a guy. who does things. I don't know, but this is from BC, the Truth Seeker. So I think we're on track. Let's listen to some David Wilcock music. This is like over 10 years old. Holy shit. Oh wow. What's going on here? Oh, somebody busted out the fucking Casio keyboard for this one. Somebody busted out their child's like fucking like 10 key keyboard. It's not even a full octave. It's just 10 keys.
I am one with you in my heart.
Oh my.
Always there. Moonlight shines through clouds in the air.
Is this David singing? Is this David Wilcock singing? I don't even know. I don't think it says that. Lush background vocals in every song. David's training as a jazz fusion drummer. Dude, I love jazz fusion. Wait, Larry on background. Yeah, David is the lead singer and Larry on background vocals. Oh my god. This is some David Wilcock music, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to get content claimed for it. So I guess this is valued at like fucking $900 or whatever that was. I think it was just $100 for the Galactic edition.
On the waves of the sea.
He's not too bad of a singer. You're right, chat. I think the song is kind of lame, but the singing isn't so bad.
Looking in your eyes, I feel the future start to grow.
Oh, we're getting a little stanky here.
Happy as we lie together beneath the moonlight's glow. When I look into your eyes and I see you in the
Okay, well, that's fine. What's the next one like? It sounds exactly the same. Okay, what's this one like?
as I lie here on the floor.
No thanks. What's this one like? Oh, I like this one. Not bad. Some of the best cult music I've ever heard. Okay, I'll say this for him. He's an okay singer, but he's got one of those voices that if he was in a band, I would probably not listen to the band. You know what I mean? It's like James LaBrie, except I've been listening to Dream Theater for so long that I like can put up with James LaBrie. But it's like all of the energy of like a James LaBrie soft ballad, and I don't like it. Let's listen to the next one. Man, who says white people have no culture?
Candles are burning dim.
Okay, I can't listen to more of this. Okay, so Homie's got songs. That's cool. Apparently this is a fucking album with like narrations and right. We can buy this album for a fucking $100. That's cool. Okay, the meditations. Atlanta meditate. You know, the best meditating happens in Atlanta. Okay. Well, you know, a lot of nice products that we can shell out money to David Wilcock for. So that's cool. Yeah, you know, I think that might about do it for the David Wilcock experience. It's I was unaware that there was going to be music to top it all off, but I'm glad that there was. So yeah, let's draw this bad boy to a close. I would say. fade on back to the bear in the fireplace. New HD fireplace, in case you didn't notice. It's not really that HD. It was supposed to be more HD than it is. I'm kind of disappointed with it. It took me like 3 hours to download, though, for some reason. So I think I'm going to stick with it. But yeah, I'd say that was the stream. I think it all went decently well here on this new computer. You can expect some more streams in the next couple days. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. We might want to look into Gaia. Except the Takono Cash with $2 from a few minutes ago. Oi, let's not talk about Gaia? Question mark. Are we not talking about Gaia? Is Gaia canceled? I'm confused. But we got that's the last one actually. That is the most recent super chat. Or is there a reason why we're not talking about Gaia? Feels extra warm. Fire is bad. Gaia Online. No, not Gaia Online. God damn. Gotta say, Deadwing, I was super depressed earlier, and this cheered me up. I haven't laughed this hard all week. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad to hear that you're feeling a little better. Take care of yourself, friendo. Watch some more stuff to take your mind off of things. That's never. Try to do things with your life eventually, but for a little while at least, watch some stuff and try to take your mind off things, you know? I remember Gaia Online. The bear has spoken. So wait, is David Wilcock a reincarnation? I mean, he's apparently a reincarnation who looks exactly the same as, like... apparently he's a reincarnation who looks the same as the guy that he's a reincarnation of, which is weird. Like I said before, Edgar Case apparently looks a bit like him, so people were like, well, he's a reincarnation of him. But it's like, why? That's not how that works. Maybe he time traveled. Taikono Kosh with $2. Do we need a reason not to? Don't do it. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say no when somebody's super chatting you, but I don't know. It looks pretty crazy. I think you got like a free trial too. A lot of it doesn't look that interesting though. It's a little too like professional to be that crazy, but who knows? We found David Wilcock people through there. Oh no, we found a different guy through there. David Wilcock was actually on the Ancient Aliens show. Apparently, he was one of those like science expert people. Thank you, Bear Dad, for your commentary on this space voyage. Case is pronounced Casey. I mean, he's dead. Who's gonna stop me? Who is honestly gonna stop me? Good stream, good chat. Thank you, Bear Boy. Good stream, good stream. Thank you, Zara. His forehead contains Edgar Casey's... Well, now I'm saying it correctly, goddammit. Edgar Casey's restrained psychic power. Mind bullets! He's one of those guys AA got on there. Oh, Lord. I was gonna say, does he know Giorgio Tsoukalos? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw, like, an episode about crop circles, rather. And he was in that, being an expert. And Giorgio was there too. I'm going to stop you. Well, I'm sorry, Eliga. Carlos Rodriguez with $2. The Law of One is the only one worth reading, to be honest. We may look at it sometime. We may look at it. Good stream. DeadwingDork would conspire again. I'm hoping things were a little more like high def. Did the 1080 look alright? Was it like clear? Is it like a reasonable frame rate and everything? This is very much like a test stream for the new computer. So I'm hoping it works out okay. I'm gonna have to fucking figure out how to work Vegas. So that's gonna be exciting. You know, the aliens live in Vegas, so it's probably gonna be very interesting to learn that program. It looked really good actually. It was 10 Grady, clear as a crisp spring morning IMO. Look nice, and your mic is nice and clear too. Look at how much we've come along with the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We have brought this stuff up to par. This is almost like a real genuine production. Yeah, I'm planning on doing some game streams soon. I installed Skyrim, so I don't know. I guess we could fuck around at Skyrim. I wouldn't mind playing Outer Worlds, but it's a little too high, like, system requirements. I can play it, but like streaming it is not so great. I might actually stream some fucking Judgment on my PS4 because I did just get that, and it's pretty good so far. Proud of you, son. Moving on up. New horizons to pursue. Yeah, I was playing Doom last night. Playing fucking Doom 2016 with a mouse and keyboard. Good God, I could never go back to the PS4 version. Like, I knew when I played about half of the PS4 version of Doom, and I was like, you know, this is pretty good. I like it. I just really wish I wasn't using a fucking controller. That would be great. And I wept I wept in ineptitude because my computer couldn't run new Doom. So instead, I just played like a billion fucking Doom WADs for the old Doom, which is kind of better if you think about it. But now I can play the new one, and that's pretty cool. So maybe we'll stream that. I don't know. Maybe we'll stream some crazy shit. Who knows? I'll just straight up start stealing Vinny's shtick. I'm coming for you, funny pizza jabroni man. All right. Take it easy, ladies and gentlemen. That was the stream. We might look at some more David Wilcock sometime. I don't know. I think the music is kind of going to be hard to top, but yeah. Try not to slip on the ice. It's a brisk one out there. Probably depends on where you live, but try not to slip on the ice in general. That's just good advice. See ya, folks. Penis. Oh, I guess we should do some fucking outro music. Hang on. Bye.